I think when we bring all those things together, we certainly start lowering our obesity levels. We're less stressed about certain things, those physical things in our lives. Certainly there are other things that, are stressful in our lives.
Right.
But we start eliminating some of the things, and I think that's really,
Now,
really
Yvonne,
important.
Laura, I got a question for you. It's super important to, like you said, bring the kids into the kitchen, all that good stuff. What advice do you have for women like me and Sienna in our early, mid-20s? Sometimes, after an 8-hour day and I come home from work, I don't want to cook just for one person. It's such a production, making all this mess.
That it is.
Washing afterwards. Sometimes, it is just easier to go out and get something quick to eat.
And certainly that may be the case sometimes, but I think if you plan your menus, if you know what your week is going to look like, the nights that you're probably going to be out late, plan. Make yourself a big salad, have it in the refrigerator already. Have those certain foods that you can just go to so that you're not going, I'm going to go order a pizza, or I'm going to get Mexican takeout, or I'm going to do this.
Ooh, now I'm just hungry.
I know.
And it works well with children as well as adults. Children, when they're hungry, they'll eat what you give them.
Exactly.
And so I was told once, you get one of those vegetable trays, and you just wash up strawberries, carrot sticks, celery, and you put a thing of ranch in the middle, because everything tastes great with ranch. And so you just have those in the fridge available for a couple days, and they come home from school, and they just take out the snack. You come home from work, and
I need to do that.
eat healthy snacks.
And Laura, talk to us a little bit, though, about those times when we just want that comfort food. We just want to have that thing that makes us feel so good.
I'm guilty too.
Talk to us.
It's such an addiction sometimes. Your body just craves it.
Is it okay in moderation?
Food is good, but the right foods. But yes, I think it's certainly okay if things are done in moderation.
Okay, so the cheeseburger I'm going to have tonight is okay.
See, I don't like to comment on those things.
As long as you don't have it for another 2 weeks.
Exactly, or for 2 weeks in a row.
There you go.
Good topic. But, feeling fulfilled in one's eating is really important. You cannot deprive yourself all that often. Every once in a while, you can fall off the wagon, because feeling deprived, that is what leads to binge eating, and we all know what that is. And
Well, now, let's touch on some more subjects that lead into weight gain and craving. We have stress, we have peer pressure. How can we touch more onto those topics?
Well, I think, when we talk about obesity and such, once we start getting rid of some things in our lives, then we start thinking about the other things in our lives that bring stress to us. Many of us are two working parents. You're coming home, you're stressed out from your job already, and you're bringing that stress home with you. And you're wondering why you're having headaches all the time. You're wondering why you're chronically fatigued all the time. Why is all this tension? And it's stress, and it's really beginning to be a huge issue in the United States.
Right, and just the medical problems that you can suffer from stress is anytime it affects your everyday living, you really need to consult a physician. I'm talking things that interfere with your sleep. So we're talking about sleep interference. Stress can also cause ulcers, depression. There are lots of things that can stem from stress. So I think stress is a great topic to talk about.
Well, and sometimes I know, even for me, the doctors always told me, Val, you're stressed. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, you don't realize it. Sometimes it's such an unconscious thing, you don't realize how it affects your body.
Yeah, and it's important with stress too, to find out. Now, we talked about hormones. If you've just had a baby, if you're pregnant, there are hormones that come in factor. Also, you should consult your physician about maybe you have an anxiety disorder, or maybe it's something that's being caused by a medical problem that you have that is quite treatable and fixable.
So back to our earlier advisement, know thyself. You really have to know who you are and where you are currently in your life, as well as physiologically, and what's going on biochemically.
And everyone's different. What
Every
might stress
person is
one
different.
person out might not stress another person out. And it's the same with treatment. What might be relaxing to someone may not be relaxing to somebody else. And I think so often that we put all this energy into stress, and we need to find other constructive ways to channel our energy.
Right,
Whether
absolutely.
it's find something that you love to do and channel your energy
working
in that.
out, exercise,
Reading a book,
journaling.
yeah, sitting out in the sun is relaxing.
Getting a new hobby, those sorts of things. Definitely. What about when we talk about, we don't want to do those things that are negative when we think that we're managing stress. We don't want to start increasing our alcohol intake or certainly
Right.
doing anything with any illegal substances.
You're going to cause more health problems for yourself.
Exactly.
So.
There are so many positive ways that we can manage our stress. We talked about holistic issues earlier, and one of the things I know with managing stress is connecting with a higher power, whatever that may be in your life. I read here earlier this year that at Camp Pendleton up in, it's a Marine base up in Northern California, that Native Americans from across the country came and they had sort of a powwow with wounded Marines that were coming back from war, from Iraq and Afghanistan and such. And what they did was they brought all of these soldiers together, and they had veterans from different wars before that were still alive, and they had them make drums. And it wasn't to play the drums, in any way, but it was more the act of putting the drums together, the solidarity of coming together, and then beating on those drums and sort of bringing their hearts into communion with nature and such. So I know that, whether it's going to be that or whatever the case may be, I think connecting with some sort of higher power in your life, is really going to help you lower those stress levels and make you start looking at different things. Like you said, we're all at different levels in our lives. We're looking at different things. There's some of us who have homes, with the economy. You're stressed out about that. Some of us are in college. We're worrying about, what are we going to do after college?
Right.
So the stress triggers are different. How we deal with them are different.
And certain things you can't fix.
Exactly.
Stress may be caused by certain things that temporarily can't be fixed.
Exactly.
So find other things. Just take, when people say take a deep breath, it really is therapeutic.
Right,
You
or
need
just
to
every
take a deep
day,
breath.
just find that time slot to release all of it. Even though by the end of the night, those worries might not go completely away, but
Right.
your body needs that 30 minutes, that hour, 45 minutes time slot to just get away from it.
Right. And to me, I always remember that life is just short. Enjoy the tender little moments that you have in life. It's such a short amount of time that we live on Earth, and I think we
Right.
just need to take time to enjoy it.
And what do you think,
That's very
Sienna, about kids? Kids who are stressed, they're not stressed about mortgages or college or things like that. They're stressed about bullying in school and peer pressure and those sorts of things.
Talk
That's
to your
key.
children.
Talk
Sit
to
down
them.
and talk
Absolutely.
to them.
Communication.
Not only as a parent, you need to know your boundaries, but I think you need to talk to your children, not just as a parent, but as a friend, as a loved one, as a friend, someone that that they can turn to and feel like they can talk to you.
And really listen to them. There are a lot of parents who, I'm not going to let my children be sucked up into those things, so I'm going to keep them involved in every activity that I can get them in.
And
the
that
poor
causes
kid is
stress
stressed out about
sometimes.
that,
You have to learn to say
Being
no to
overly
certain
active,
things.
right? That can be stressful also. But I think being connected—that's the key. That's really the foremost thing of all of us, either in children or as full adults.
So
we
true.
need to feel connected.
And it comes back to parents being the leader in the household and knowing that it's up to you to keep your family's health, whether it's the food aspect of it or, the psychological, whatever it is. These little things have been entrusted to us. These children have been entrusted to us. Life's going to be hard enough on them,
Yes.
So
It
we should do
certainly
everything, that we can as parents to make sure that we try to make it as easy as possible. for
And
them
we
to
all
get
have
through.
vital roles, whether we're parents or just members of the community, that we all just need to pull together, and we need to have social outlets too in the community where we can help one another. I mean, it's so important to physically be well, but it's important to be emotionally well and spiritually well, because that all affects your health.
Like Sienna said, it takes a village.
It is so true. Well, ladies, we cover the topics of obesity, what covers obesity, who it affects, and how we can deal with it. On behalf of Yvonne, myself, Sienna, and Laura, thank you for tuning in. And next time, we got a lot more tips and good information coming your way on Las Vegas Lifestyle.
Good night.
Good night.